So if you don't want your image to show on the recording, then you may turn off your camera, but that's up to you. Okay, so we're recording now. All right, so let me start sharing the screen. That always takes a moment, so sorry about that. Okay. All right, so I was just about done with the Chapter 5 test. I only have a few more problems to do, and then I was going to go to 6.1. Okay, 6.1 will not be on the test, though. So let's take a quick look at the calendar and get this out of the way quickly. Move the images over so I can get more screen. All right, so once again, the original schedule was like this. I did not know we were not meeting on May 25th, so I have to move up and gain a date. I think I'm able to gain a date if I knock this off and move 6.1 up to here. Okay, so if I do that successfully, then this will become 6.2. We're just moving everything up one day. 6.2 becomes here, 6.3 becomes here, and so on. And I just move all the days up. Okay, because I lost a day here. We're also losing a day to flex. Not that I'm, against it. I mean, it's another day off, I suppose. Okay, so after I finish a few problems in the Chapter 5 test, I will go on with 6.1. Go ahead and take notes, but don't look at it carefully. I would say don't even study it. Let's do it this way. Study 6.1 and start doing 6.1 after you take the test on Tuesday. Okay, once I do 6.1 today, go ahead and take notes, look at it casually. I'll make some remarks about doing the problems, but don't even look at it this weekend so you can concentrate on doing the exam 1. So I'm a little bit out of sequence by doing this. I mean, the other option was to give you the test today, and I don't think anybody wants that, right? So I decided let's just do it this way instead. Okay. Right. I don't think it'll take that long to finish everything. So I only had a few more problems to do this, then I'll be done. I'll do this. So then after we're finished with that, I'll open up the questions and answers. So if you have any questions from here, bring it up, even though I'll let you do it next time also. Okay, and then hopefully there's time at the end for me to give you your second quiz. The quiz will be just like last week's quiz. I'll put you into your breakout rooms and put your first and last name and the first and last name of everybody else in your breakout room. Okay, and your object is to get the question right and get everybody else in your teammates to get it right. And then just take a picture on your cell phone, click, 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 and email it to me. So class ends at what, 5:55? So you have to submit it by 6 o'clock. Okay. And then next week, we have the test, of course. Okay, so again, on test days, once we start class at 4:40, I'll let you ask questions until 5 at the latest. Okay, so if there are still questions, I have to stop at 5 because I need to get everything set up and give you the test by 5:05. I promise you 50 minutes on the syllabus, so that would take us to 5:55. Okay, but if nobody has any questions, we can start right away. Okay, and I'll project on the overhead here. So you can take a picture on your cell phone, but I'll also put it through Canvas announcements. It'll take me a few minutes to do that also. So you can just get it off of Canvas announcements also for that. Okay, and you submit the homework. You can submit the homework early. In fact, as soon as class is over today, if you already have the homework and you want to submit it, I'll take it. Okay, but otherwise, Tuesday when you take the test on February 2nd, okay, so you do the test. I usually give about 10 problems, show all your work. Okay, if you, when in doubt, do as much work as I showed you. Okay, so if there's work, show me the work. That way, by the way, I can also give partial credit. I tend to give about 10 questions. Okay, and then before 5:55, again, same thing. That's the reason why I give you the quizzes ahead of time so you can get the hang of click, 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 take pictures. Okay, email it to me, mhum@ccsf.edu, just like last time. And then I'll give you another half an hour to submit the homework. So class ends at 5:55. I'll give you 5 minutes, so you have until 6 o'clock to submit the exam. If you finish early, you can submit it early. And as I said, you can submit the homework early too. So how about even once class is over today, if you already have the homework, I'll take it. So another half an hour would be 6:30. So the latest you can turn in the homework is 6:30 next Tuesday. There is a homework requirement. You must submit at least 70% of the homework. So if you don't submit at least 70% of the homework or you don't turn in any homework, I don't grade your test, you get a 0 on the test. Okay, so that's the way that works for exams. Okay, so any questions anybody want to ask about that right now? You can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Okay, so if not, let me go ahead and knock off the rest of chapter 5. Get that out of the way. Okay, so we were doing this. Okay, I left off at 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, a reminder for 19, the answer is 3. You get an automatic cancellation. When you see log base 7 of 7 to the third, the log 7 can cancel out. The answer is just 3. 18, the answer is simply x to the fourth. The e and the ln cancel out. So you just have x to the fourth. And likewise for 20, the ln and the e cancel out. So all you have is x squared. Okay. By the way, remember, you're allowed to have one formula sheet, one cheat sheet. Okay. 8.5 by 11, standard 8.5 by 11, both sides. You can write whatever you want, including sample problems and so forth. Okay, then 21 to 24. I will have to refer you to again on properties of logs that hopefully you've seen before from your intermediate algebra. I'm on page 352 of my text. Okay, so again, number 1, log base a of a to the x equals x. Put that on your cheat sheet if you wish. Number 2, a raised to the log base a of x. Again, the a and the log a cancel out, you just have x. Okay. Now the last problems that I'm going to do, which will not take that long at all. So number 3, log of a product is the sum of the logs. Log of mn, m times n, is the log of m plus the log of n. Then 353, log of m divided by n is log of m minus log of n. Sometimes we say the log of a quotient is the difference of the logs. And then number 5, log of m raised to the n power, the n gets to drop down in front, log base a of m. Okay, there's also a change of base formula that you see there. I don't think we have too many problems involving that. Yeah, we don't have any problems with that, so I guess you shouldn't have to worry about it, I think. Yeah. All right. So 21 and 24. 21, write natural log. Ln stands for natural log. Mn as a sum involving m and n. Okay, so that shouldn't be too big a deal. All right, so ln of m times n, using that property I just showed you, is natural log of m plus natural log of n. Okay, that's all. Okay, so again, ln stands for natural log or log natural. Okay. After a while, we're only going to do ln. We're almost never going to use this. We do ln quite a bit. Okay. 22. Write ln of a quotient. Ln of something divided by something. Yeah, I don't know why it's turning yellow on me, but got to live with it. Okay, so it's ln of the top minus ln of the bottom. Ln x cubed minus 1 over x plus 2. Ln of x cubed minus 1 minus ln of x plus 2. And stop. And in case you're wondering, can I do anything else with this? No, you can't. Like you might say, can I distribute the ln here or something like that? No, it doesn't work that way. So this is as good as it gets. Just stop right there. Okay, oh, 23. I take back what I just said. That is the change of base root. I thought there wasn't any problem with it, but I'm mistaken. So I got to go back and show it to you. Sorry about that. So I guess you can put this on your cheat sheet also if you wish. Okay, change of base formula is right here, and I'll lift it up for you. Log base b of x. You can change it to any base you want. Log base a of x divided by log base a of b. For us, in practicality, it's always going to be ln. Okay. Log base b of x. ln x over ln v. It's not too surprising which one's on top, because when you write it like this, that x looks like it's a little bit higher than the b, right? So x is higher than the b, so you just put ln of x divided by ln of v, and now I'll show you how that works for this particular question. So 23, log base 4 of x cubed plus 1. Write it as natural log. So it's just ln of the x cubed plus 1 divided by the ln of 4. The x cubed plus 1 looks a little bit higher, right, than the 4 in problem 23. So that's the way it works. So log base 4 of x cubed plus 1, natural log of x cubed plus 1 divided by ln of 4. Okay, sometimes I'll say ln, sometimes I say natural log because that's what it means. And just stop right there. Again, don't do anything here. You're not allowed to do anything there, so just stop. Okay, finally 24, and then I'm finished, folks. 47 times on 500 equals 1500, 1.015 to the 6x. How do we solve that? It's a good question leading up to the next chapter. The next chapter, we're going to be solving some problems that are like that. Okay. A quick word again about the homework. Don't worry about which edition you have. Okay. So if you have the 11th edition, 10th edition, 12th edition, or whatever, okay, it doesn't matter. You're just doing problems. Okay. If you can't find the exact problems, do some equivalent problems to what I have here. Okay. As long as you learn the material. Okay. In terms of studying for the test, look off the ones that I showed you. And so everybody's got the things I showed you, right? Doesn't matter what edition you got. You know, when I show you guys all of this stuff, you can study off of that. Then whatever book you have, go back and do some other problems. Okay, submit that for homework, and that's how you study for the test. Okay. Okay, so problem 24. Let me get that to you. And I'm going to need the calculator for this. So it starts off with this. 47,500 equals 1,500, 1.015 to the 6x. Let me raise it up for you. Okay, so it started off like this. So first I'm going to divide both sides by 1,500. Okay, so divided by 1,500. Okay, you know, there's a shortcut. If you have 2 zeros here and 2 zeros here at the end, you can just wipe them out. So it's like 475 divided by 15, which reduces to 95 over 3. Okay, so at the moment, I have 95 over 3 equals 1.015 raised to the 6x. Okay, so the trick you do now is to take the natural log of both sides. Notice the 6x is raised up there. See, how do I get it down? The way to get it down is to take the natural log of both sides. ln both sides, because once I take the ln of both sides, I have a property of logs that says this 6x gets to come down in front, right? That was that property that I had just shown you. Yeah, Roman numeral 5 there. I can't point it out to you. But see number 5, log of m raised to the n power is n log of m. So that's what I'm doing. ln, 6x comes down. So now it looks like this. Natural log of 95 over 3 equals 6x ln 1.015. And now to isolate the x, divide both sides by 6 ln 1.015. You can do it all at once. So divide by 6 ln 1.015, divide 6 ln 1.015. Whoops. So as an exact answer means don't put a decimal approximation, just leave it as. So x is ln 95 over 3 divided by 6 ln 1.015. And punch it in machine, 38.679 is my answer. Okay, and now let me raise this up again for focusing purposes. and over here. Okay, and I'll try to demonstrate that to you. Okay, for those of you that have a calculator that's fancy, it allows for parentheses and so on, you can do it all at one fell swoop. So I'm going to hit ln parentheses 95 divided by 3, ln 95 divided by 3, divided by parentheses. So I'm going to have to put parentheses around the entire denominator. So if you're going to type it all in one fell swoop, you should put, actually you should type it exactly like this, I guess. Okay, divided by 6 ln parentheses 1.015, 1.015 parentheses. Sorry, don't mean to burn out your eyeballs there. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see it all there. Yeah, here we go. ln 95 over 3 divided by 6 ln 1.015 and then 38.679. So that's what we have there. Okay, and I think that's it. Let's see, somebody put something in the chat. Okay, all right, that's fine. I got you. All right, so I'm finished with this. I'm going to put this away. So coverage for the test is everything up to now. Okay, I'm going to be in 6.1. It's actually a very easy section. Go ahead and take notes. Okay. You can look at the video later. My suggestion is not even look at the video. Well, if you're going to watch the video, you can stop it right up to here. Okay. And then maybe look at the rest of the video for 6.1 after Tuesday's test. You're going to be okay with that. Okay, so I'll lecture on 6.1. You can take notes if you want. Look at the video later, but anything I say from here on out will not be on Tuesday's test. Tuesday's test will be all of this stuff. Okay? So here we go. So chapter 6 is on financial math. And now this is all review. All of this stuff is no longer review. So it's basically one section a day, right? So one day for 6.1, one day for 6.2, you know, just like this, right? Every day, 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, and so on, right? And then we have a test, 9.1, 9.2, blah, 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 test. Okay, it was only the very first test, which is all a review of algebra. So theoretically, you already know this stuff. Where I'm deviating from that. But from here on, it's basically one section a day. Okay, so chapter 6 is financial math. Okay, there are a lot of formulas. You don't have to memorize any of the formulas, just write them down and put them on your formula sheet, the next formula sheet, as it were. Okay, so even at 6.1, you will hear me say, put blah, blah, blah on your formula sheet. That doesn't have to be for Tuesday, but it's for the next test. Okay. So here we go. So chapter 6 is called Mathematics of Finance. So you can see here, simple interest, compound interest, future value of annuities, present value of annuities, loans, and amortization. Okay, all very practical stuff for financial math. I'll just mention quickly, as you might guess, a lot of these problems involve money. Always round money answers to the nearest what? Nearest penny, nearest cent. So $316.52. Don't put 5214, right? Money is always rounded up. And by the way, banks and lending institutions will always round up to the nearest penny also, right? So if you get a decimal approximation, just round it up to the nearest penny. Right, so simple interest, 6.1. There are formulas, some of which you've heard before. Okay, 6.1, page 362 of my text again. Okay, and again, looks like I've got 11th edition, but whatever. All right, interest equals principal times rate times time. You've probably heard that before in your previous math classes. For simple interest, I equals PRT. I stands for interest, P is principal, R is an annual interest rate. Okay, that's key. R is annual, so if they give it to you for some other period, you have to make it annual. And it says written as a decimal. Now, normally when you go to a bank, they say, what, 5%, 2.5%, 7.3%, right? You have to change it to a decimal before you type this stuff in your calculator. And then T, time, is in years. And once again, T is in years. If they don't give it to me in years, you change it. Like they may give you so many days, they may give you, half a year or a quarter or 9 months, something like that. You have to change it to a year. Okay, so I equals PRT. Put that in your next cheat sheet, not on Tuesday's test, but the next one. Okay, if you don't even want to put it down now, I don't mind. Maybe wait until after Tuesday's test, and then in preparation for next Thursday, when we get started with the next section and so on, then start to do the homework problems. Interest equals principal times rate times time. But if you feel confident and you want to put it down on your next cheat sheet now, no big deal. That's going to be okay. Okay, next formula. Page 363. Future value. Okay. They use S, the letter S for some reason. Okay. Because F stands for something else, like F stands for function in math sometimes, so they don't want to say F. S is the future value. Principal plus interest. You can put that on your cheat sheet, but that's a very easy concept, right? If you're earning interest, what's the new amount? Well, the amount that you invested, principal, plus the interest, right? Okay, now, there are variations of this formula, and you can put these on your formula sheet also. Okay. Now, we already know that I is PRT. So another version of this formula is to put PRT right here. S equals P plus PRT. I'll show you all this, right? Since we already know I is PRT, another version of the same formula is S equals P plus PRT. And there's a PRT here. You could also factor out the P. Don't worry, I'll show you all this. So it could be P parentheses 1 plus RT. Okay, and I'll show you all this stuff. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and show you the problems. So we had what? 1 to 10, odd 17, and 18, it looks like. Okay, so page 367. So those of you that don't ever feel like getting the book, I will show you the problems now. Some more. And more. Okay. And how high do we have to go? 18, I guess. All right, so I think it's all there. Now, here's the way it's going to work for most of the rest of the time. You have to do the odds. I will do the evens from my book. Okay. Normally, you don't have the even answers in the back of the book. So even if I were to do your addition, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't have the answers in the back of the book anyway. Okay. Again, the main idea is that you're learning how to do stuff. Okay. So this S equals P plus I. Let me show you those other versions again. S equals P plus I. Since we know I equals PRT, I can write it as P plus PRT also. And you can put that on your formula sheet if you wish. And you can also factor out the P. One plus RT. So you can put any and all of these on your cheat sheet if you wish. Okay? They're all really the same formula. All right, so 6.1, I will do the evens from my book. So they want you to solve for T. So number 2, 1,500 equals 5,000 times 0.05 times T. Okay. 1,500 equals 5,000 times 0.05 times T. side note, that looks like the interest equals principal times rate times time. Right? So that means the rate would have been 5%, principal, okay, what's the time? Or you could say, if I deposit $5,000 into an interest-bearing account at 5% simple interest, how long would it take to get to $1,500? Okay, and this is very calculator dependent. So for these problems here, you definitely want to have your calculator handy when we do chapter 6. All of these, 6.1, 6.2, okay, they're very calculator dependent. So have your calculator ready. All right, so 5,000 times 0.05 is 250. Divide both sides by 250, and t is equal to 6 years. Very easy. And that's about it. Okay. All right, number 4 looked like that. You can just take my word for it. Or I showed it to you. You can look at the video later. 11,800 is P plus PRT. So that's a variation of this one. Okay. S equals P plus PRT. Okay. I'm actually going to factor out the P. So it looks like this. It makes it easier to solve. So P parentheses, if I take out a P, that's 1 plus 0.03 times 6. Okay, so that means the time was 6 years, interest rate was 3%, which I'll change to 0.03 and then 6. Okay, so that's all. Okay, punch this in your calculator. It's 1.18. So 11,800 is P times 1.18. P stands for principal. That's the amount that you plunk down at the beginning of your investment. Divide both sides by 1.18, and it comes out to be $10,000. Okay, problem's finished, but what does it mean? It means if I invest $10,000 at 3% for 6 years, then it would go to 11,800. Okay, so that's what it means. All right, so now they give us some problems that involve these things. Okay, so $800, number 6, $800 is invested for 5 years, annual simple interest rate of 14%. How much interest will be earned, and what is the future value of the investment at the end of the 5 years? Okay, if you didn't get it down, that's okay. You can look at the video later, but I got it all down here also. Okay, so principal was 800, time is 5 years, the rate is 14%. If it says 14%, you change it to 0.14, right? Change a percent to a decimal. So I equals PRT. So just multiply these all together. So interest is principal, the amount that you invest, 800, plus times the rate, which is 0.14, times the time. Okay, so on your calculator, okay, I've already done this ahead of time. I mean, you don't have to watch me punch it in the calculator, but make sure you can do it later, right? But I think it's a waste of time for you to see me punch it in the calculator. I already did it ahead of time. So 800 times 5 times 0.14 is $560 in interest. Okay, so $560 in interest. Then part B asks for the new amount. The new amount is principal plus interest. So 800 plus 560. So I put down $800 to the banker. I have earned $560. So the new amount, the new worth is 800 plus 560, or 1,360. Okay. That's all. Not that hard, right? I hope. Okay, then let's see, number 8. $1,800, look at number 8. I'm sorry, I'll point it like that. $1,800 invested for 9 months at an annual simple interest rate of 15%. Okay, 9 months, you have to change it to a year. So how do I change 9 months to a year? 9 divided by 12, or 3/4, or you can say 0.75. All of those would work, right? Okay, so remember in the formula, T, time is years. So you have to take 9/12 or 3/4 or 0.75 in order to work that one out. Okay, so principal is 1,800, time is 0.75, rate is 0.15. Okay, so I equals PRT, 1,800 times 0.15 times 0.75. Punch it in your calculator, $202.50. Okay, then again, it asks for the new balance. Just add them up, right? You started off with 1,800. You earned this much interest, so just add them up, $2,002.50. Okay, so pretty straightforward, I think. Okay. And then let's see. Number 10. If you borrow 1,600 for 2 years at 14% annual simple interest, how much must you repay at the end of the 2 years? Okay, so this is going the other direction where you borrow money, right? And you have to pay back more. Okay, so up to now, we were taking the scenario of you put money in the bank and you earn interest. But if you borrow money, then you pay back interest, right? Same thing. And of course, the money that you pay back to banks or lending institutions is always more than the amount that you borrow, right? That's the way it works. Okay, so it says if you borrow 1,600 for 2 years at 14% annual simple interest, how much must you repay at the end of 2 years? Okay, so get all the data down. So principal was 1,600, time is 2, rate is 0.14. So the easiest way to do that is to plug into either this one or this one. Okay, looks like I plugged into this one. Okay, so 1,600 plus 1,600 times 0.14 times 2, P plus PRT. Punch in your calculator, 2,048. Okay. That's basically it, folks. Pretty straightforward. All right, that's as much as I was going to show you. Okay, so I've done enough of 6.1 to get you started on the homework, but don't look at it, like I said, until after the test. So next Thursday, so I'm assuming I'm going to gain, this comes here, this comes here. So after you take the test on Tuesday, right, do the homework for 6.1, and then 6.2 comes up here, and I moved everything up. So it allows me to gain a day all the way over here. Okay, so I'm done. If anybody wants to ask me questions now, only from here, you may, and if you don't, then I'll just go straight to the quiz, and we're done, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so let me see. I don't see anything extra in the chat. So you can either put something in the chat or unmute yourselves if you have any questions. If not, I'll go straight to the quiz.
So all homework from chapters 0 to 4, we're going to be turning before the exam, right?
Okay, so you turn all of this in. You may turn it in early, but I will accept it all the way until half an hour after the test, right?
Okay.
So on Tuesday, the test ends at 5:55. I give you 5 minutes or until 6 o'clock to take a picture on your cell phone, just like you did the quiz last week and you're going to do for the quiz today, right? Just take a picture. Don't put anything in Canvas. I don't do anything on Canvas except give you the videos and make some announcements. Okay? But turn in a homework by 6:30 next Tuesday. But you want to turn it in early, that's okay too. Okay, somebody did put something in the chat, so let me check that out. Yes, it's all due Tuesday, correct. Okay, anybody else want to ask a question? Otherwise, we're done. I'll go straight to the quiz. All right, I don't hear anything. Okay, so as soon as I set up the quiz, I'm done. So the last thing I'll say again, a reminder for Tuesday's test. When we start at 4:40, I'll ask you if you have any questions. If nobody has any questions, we can start right away. But I'll take questions up until 5 o'clock at the latest. Okay, and then we'll start with the exam. Okay, again, during the exam, you must have your actual camera on with the true background. Okay, so don't have behind you the Golden Gate Bridge or something like that. I need to see your actual background. Okay, mute yourselves. If you have any questions during the test, put it on the chat. Come up with your cheat sheet, right? So start writing down any formulas that you want. Standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, front and back. You can have that during the exam. Okay. And let's see, we start at 5 p.m. at the latest. That's correct. Okay. And you have until the end of class, which is 5:55. Okay, so at 5:55, I'll close the test. If you finish early, you can leave, and then you have 5 minutes to submit the exam, and then I'll give you another half an hour to submit the homework. But if you want to turn in homework early, some of you say, I already finished the homework, then right after class today, you can start submitting it now even. Okay, any other questions, please? Otherwise, we'll start the quiz. Wait just for a moment. By the way, even after I start the quiz, you can still ask me stuff or send me email or come to office hour. How do we view the questions on the test? I'll project it just like this. Okay, and I'll also send it through Canvas announcements. Okay? So once the questions stop, so suppose questions stop at 4:50 next time, I'll project it like this. You take a picture on your cell phone, just like you're going to do for the quiz right now, and just like you did last time. Then you can get started. You have it on your cell phone. But then if you give me a couple minutes, I will go back and put it on Canvas announcements, because maybe when you take the picture on your cell phone, that might not come out clear or fuzzy. Okay, so then you can look on Canvas announcements for that also. Okay. Any other questions, please? We still have almost half an hour today, so it shouldn't be any problem. Okay, so I'll get started with the quiz. So get your cell phones out to take a picture, or if you know how to do a screenshot, you can do that. So just like last time, get started. I'll put you in your breakout rooms. If you finish early, you may leave. Class ends at 5:55, so you have to submit to me the quiz by 6 o'clock. And a reminder that, okay, put your first and last name, put everybody else's first and last name on your group. If you don't do that, I may take off points this time. Okay, and then once you get the answer right, don't leave. Try to get everybody else in your group to get it correct too. Okay, so again, I will look at everybody's quiz briefly, but I'll just grade one of them. Okay, and everybody's going to get the same grade in your breakout room. Okay, so the only way you can be sure to get full credit, right, since you don't know which of you I'm going to pick, the only way to be sure is for everybody in your group. So you have a group of 3 or 4. Okay, then just make sure before you leave, okay, you got this, and everybody gets it right, then it doesn't matter, then you're all going to get full credit. Okay, any other questions about how the quiz works? All right, so here we go. Here's the quiz. Okay, so take a picture on your cell phone if you wish. So graph the function y equals 2 to the x. Make a table of values from -2 to 2, integer values. So make a table that goes -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Plot x and y. Show me the graph. Number 2, graph y equals log base 2 of x after making a table of integer y values from -2 to 2. And a real big hint is y equals log base 2 of x means the same thing as x equals 2 to the y. And if you think of how I did a previous problem, and if you think of this table, I'll give you a real big hint now. I mean, look at that and look at that. It's the same table, except you just switch around x and y, right? So once you get number 1, number 2 is not really that big a deal. Just switch around x and y. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up just for about another 15 seconds. So make sure you get it within the next 15 seconds. Y equals 2 to the x. Make a table of values as x goes from -2 to 2. Then graph it. Number 2, y equals log base 2 of x as y goes from -2 to 2. I mean, this is even a big hint. I switched around the x and the y. Okay. And y equals log base 2 of x means the same thing as x equals 2 to the y. Okay, I will now assume that everybody has it. Go ahead and get started. It'll give me a minute or so to set up the breakout rooms, and then you can help each other out. I will be in the main room if you ever want to catch me. If you finish early, if you all finish early, you may leave, and then just email me your test, and I'll see you next time for the exam. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share, and I'll stop the